Yo,
Hello.
What's up?
What's up, friends?
it's been a while.
Too long.
Been a little busy. What's been going on, fellas?
Deodorant. Deodorant's going on armpits all around the world as we speak. I came up with that like when I was like 15, and I don't know, something.
Is
You
it
figured that was the
roll
time.
on or a spray?
It both. Right now, both are happening. Right now. I hope. That's the.
Can you imagine someone doing both at the same time? Like, try.
Could I
Can you even
imagine
try?
that?
Like,
Yes, I could imagine that. That'd be
It's going to be
interesting.
really tricky.
You know, like
That's good.
give you the visual. Sorry for our listeners only, and not the YouTubers.
Oh, man.
Do you know, I
But,
lifted up my armpits and it actually smells not too bad, so that's good. I
Hey.
did my
That's good.
deodorant.
That's good.
You're right. That is what's going on.
See that?
And you're late in your day, so I mean,
Yeah, I haven't
It's
been
working.
fuming off all day, so that's good.
all right, guys. I want to get straight into the meat of some stuff. So,
Oh,
um,
let's go.
Damn.
yeah.
Crack it.
Mobile stuff with Native PHP.
Is that a thing still?
You guys have been rocking and
Native
rolling.
PHP, that sounds disgusting.
They're building apps now with Laravel.
So, why
Crazy.
don't Shane? Why don't you let the folks know, for anybody that doesn't already, what happened last week? What was like officially released, and then maybe Simon can follow up with a big milestone that the company had recently.
That's a hard question. I'll try to remember things and process them in real time because the days have all been blurred together. The weeks are blurring together. Mine and Simon's face are blurring together in dreams that I have, which is awesome. And
Well, I was just referring to Shane,
official
your side of the coin, and
yes.
something hit V1. So what
So
happened?
the last Friday, a week ago today of the recording, we released version 1 of Native PHP Mobile.
Hell yeah.
That
Let's
happened.
go.
That happened. It's out there. People are using it.
Booyah.
They're installing it. They're running it. They're sending screenshots to Discord and Twitter, and I mean, it's so crazy. Like the day that we released, to see people taking a picture with another phone, obviously, of their Android device with the Laravel 12 homepage,
Yeah.
and they're in freaking somewhere in Africa or somewhere, like what it's crazy to see that stuff. So yes, as of a week ago today, Android and iOS officially supported with Native PHP. You can build mobile apps with Laravel.
Hell yeah.
Congrats, team.
Sick.
Yeah.
Okay. And then following on that, Simon, what was the big milestone you guys just hit?
Well, because of all of that, because Shane brought Android into the club in short order, we've seen this like monumental increase in the number of people joining the EAP. So April was like a mega month. So it's like finishing it on a high. I actually think the day of release wasn't that big on sales. It was good. It was a good day, but it wasn't like the big days that we've had, which is kind of interesting. But overall, because of what happened in April, we hit $100,000 in revenue.
Let's go.
Yeah. So it's gross, but we obviously have fees and things taken out of that. So but what I posted, it's not really, it's 100K. It doesn't matter. It's a nice big round number and it's awesome. And we've gone past that now already because it's been a few days since that happened. So probably getting close to 2 weeks since it actually happened. So yeah, this is awesome, and it means great things for the whole project which I'm super happy about. It means that this whole thing's validated. But the thing that I am most excited about, well, two things I'm most excited about. One is that it happened in under 3 months. Like, I launched the thing on February the 4th, and this happened before May even began. So, count that time. It's not even 3 months. That's incredible. For me, that's
Right.
incredible. And the other thing is
Clearly
we're
a lot
doing
of
that.
interest.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing is that we're doing that in a marketplace that's, I'll say, uh, inundated with free alternatives that are
Mm-hmm.
much further along than this brand new project. Uh, so there's something there that speaks to like what people want, which I'm really, really happy with.
There's a couple of things I want to say around this. But on that point, you say that there's alternatives. I don't see that there are alternatives. I see that there are other ways to accomplish a native app without writing Swift and Kotlin. But I have not seen anybody else tap into an existing framework with an audience that already exists, right? If you're gonna do Flutter, you got to learn Flutter. If you're gonna do React Native, you have to learn React Native. If you know Laravel, you can already do mobile apps. And and maybe I just don't know. I don't pay attention to everything, and I should pay more attention probably to a lot of these, what the competition quote unquote is. But I don't see it as we built this for Laravel. We built it for PHP. Honestly, Laravel is one take on that, and it's probably the biggest audience for the PHP world. But it's not the only implementation. We have a PHP engine now fully integrated into iOS and Android, so we can do other frameworks. But I don't see there's alternatives. I don't see anybody else saying, "Oh, .NET," or or some specific implementation that a lot of people are using for .NET. Now, without learning anything else, you can now do mobile apps from your, whatever that framework is. And I think that putting the developer, because that's what we are, right? We have been spoiled by Laravel over the last 10, 15 years that we've been working in it, of having these really nice, easy to use, well documented, um, seeing results on the first command kind of treatments. And we've been kind of spoiled and having a nice developer experience. Looking at all these other, I don't do Node, I don't do Next, I don't do all these other, but I see comments all the time like, using this router, view router, or next, whatever they're called, and people are complaining like, how do you live with yourselves? Just learn Laravel. And so like, yeah, making this a real, almost like a first class, what we would expect as developers, and making that experience for the other developers, I think is ultimately going to be the most successful. And there's not really any competitor that's doing anything like that, or alternative that's doing that. Um, there's a couple of things I want to say though, in regards to the $100,000 milestone. And I wrote it up in the Laravel News article, and I think I said it best in that article. I just want to say to every single person who supported us, whether by purchasing Native PHP, sharing a post, sending feedback, or just saying this is cool, thank you. To the folks who believed in us when Native PHP was just a crazy idea, thank you. To the developers who filed bug reports, asked tough questions, help us refine the vision, thank you. And to the team and extended community that has helped shape this product every step of the way, you're the reason we're here. This is not a solo achievement. This is the result of a community leaning in and building something bigger than any one of us could create alone. So it's not so much about the number; it's the validation, as Simon pointed out.
Yeah.
This is a real way that the world can operate, and the world wants to operate. At least our world, and we're gonna keep pushing for it. So
Yeah.
someone in our Discord said yesterday or this morning, actually, they're like, "There's no way we can step down from this. We've put this out there; it can only grow." And it's true, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Cool. Okay, let's get into a little bit of a hot topic, which is the fact that you guys have chosen to go with a paid route out of the gate, right? I know you guys have already seen some differing opinions of people that, of course, want the free open source stuff. Now, let's not forget, of course, right off rip, there's Native PHP Desktop, which is open, free. So this is only for the mobile stuff. And I'd like to get into this a little bit because I obviously have a inside look. I know how much work from a number of people are going into this mobile development and what it means for everybody and y'all's livelihood and stuff like that, right? There isn't, at least as far as I'm aware, some company that is able to bankroll this type of thing. They could just suddenly make it open source because now it doesn't need any sort of commercial viability, right? It's just like the company doing it. So yeah, why don't we take just a moment to sort of express like why you guys chose this path and just get it out there. I know you guys have already shared some stuff on social media in regards to this, but this is just a different medium for this conversation, and I think it'll help. But yeah, to just kind of hear it in this format. So, which of you two would like to? Simon said a lot on this, so do you want to kind of spearhead the conversation off rip, Simon?
I think, well, that decision kind of started before. I mean, I know you guys have been involved in this whole thing since before it became a thing because we've been talking about it for a long time. But, I made the decision that it was going to be a paid for thing kind of very early on. And when I first really cracked the nut of how to make this work, I was like, this is going to unlock something incredible. I think that's really valuable. I think other people will see value in it, and it will be a no-brainer for them to just say, well, I'll spend some money on this because I'm going to be able to make money on this. Like, that is literally the thinking behind it. And for me, that's it's a no-brainer thing to do right now in my career, for this project, for a whole bunch of reasons. It's like, free and open source sounds great. It is great. I believe in it 100% and more. I want to make things free and open for people, and I want to be able to give of my time in that way. But the reality is that a project of this undertaking just requires so much finances. Like, you look at the organizations that are doing these kinds of things, they're huge. And they're paying for tens, if not hundreds of engineers to work on this stuff. If not like constantly, at least at the beginning, And
Sure.
it's a massive capital outlay. And we've done that on a shoestring, really. It's like people doing it as a side project, people working out of normal working hours. So they're doing like 2 jobs effectively or more. And they're putting in all of this effort. And then what? You put it out there and it stops? No, you have to continue. You have to continue building, and you have to now also support people who want to use it. And then you're going to have other ideas. And if you're like, well, in order to pay myself, other people, to be able to do all of that work, I'm going to have to build yet another thing to offset that cost. Like, your workload just goes it goes through the roof, and you've still really got nothing aside of the product and the community, which are great. You've got nothing to show for it.
Right.
And I think it's so critical that if you want, people have come to me saying, like, you'll never see this grow because it's paid. It'll never be sustainable because it's paid. Things like, how can I trust that it's going to be around in 6 months' time because it's paid? And I'm like, all of those things are the reasons why it's paid. Like,
Right.
so, yeah, it's kind of trying to challenge. I mean, I don't see it even as a challenge. It is what it is. We're sticking with that decision for the time being. You know, like I think there'll be versions of it that are free eventually, but um, yeah, right now this is the thing we want to work on. It's the thing we are working on, and we want to keep supporting that. And to be able to do that, we got to pay ourselves some money. So that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Not much to add to that. I think you tapped on probably everything that I would have. I think that I think that as any developer, um, look, Flux came out. I'm just going to use that as an example, right? Tailwind already existed. Tailwind UI components already existed. I already paid for it. Why do I need Flux? I didn't. Number one, and I do use it. I think first and foremost, Caleb's doing amazing things. He's doing all the hard work that we don't have to worry about, and that deserves credit. Even if I don't use his product, I support the community and I support his efforts. And you can name a bunch of other products, community products that are paid for products. I support them. I delight in supporting them because they're my livelihood, honestly. Flux came out and it's a thing. I could get a client, excuse me, that has a project that's all in Flux and I'll need to know it. And so if I don't have my own license, if I don't have access to the docs, if I don't have, well, the docs are free, but if I don't have experience with it, then I'm losing out on this client. This is no different. And it's I think that the majority of people that I don't want to say complain, but are asking about a free version, which we do fully intend to have at some point. We see that. That's one of the first things that we've discussed, Simon and I, in starting the company, and which we can talk about. But they're not building things for their clients, which they should be charging money for. And so, okay, if you want to just kind of build something on your own and release an app or something, well, what's to say you don't build an app that is making money also, and isn't that worth, $50 or $100, right? To build an app that has in-app billing and you're making money on that. There's no way for us to know or to prove, or for you to prove if you're generating income from your thing. You know what I mean? Like that's not an area we even want to get into. So we're just saying, look, for a single license, it's $50. After the early access pricing, it goes up to $100. You can make one app, deploy it into on the app stores, or just have an APK on your website, people sideload, and you're covered. There's the license covers that. If you want to do 10 licenses, it's a different pricing. If it's unlimited price, unlimited licenses, that's different pricing. So justifying it, I think that fact that people are paying for it justifies it. Number one, I don't think we have to justify that. I think that the people paying for it are the justification. That they can see, all right, I have to pay a little bit of money, and now I can build apps with a tool that I already know, or agencies can employ the people that are already employed, that already know Laravel, really don't have to know anything else or learn anything new to build native apps, except for the library or the API that we're putting together for them. Yeah, I think that people see the sense in it. And as far as like personally, capitalization and stuff like that, my dream has been personally, since watching Jeffrey Way build Laracast. I remember when, even before this, but I remember, one day refreshing Laracast and seeing it's like YouTube or it's like Netflix for your career, right? And I remember seeing that in like 2015, even before that. And I was like, man, this guy is building this website, recording it, and selling us the recording of the website that he's built. And it's like, how cool would it be to make your living building a product that people are learning from and they're growing from, and it's really like he wakes up and just does his own thing, and it's enough to feed his family, right? So I think that, underlying has always been sort of a vision or a goal for me to get to have something where I can wake up, I'm working for myself, I'm my own boss, and I'm providing a tool for the community that's provided for me for all these years, something that they didn't have before, and they're all excited about it. And there's an audience there that we can discuss and talk with and strategize. And so I think personally, there's always been this kind of desire to have something that's paying the bills and is providing a necessary tool, or a tool that people can use. And like I said, the sky's the limit. Not just in a technical aspect of things. Like I said, we built this for Laravel. We have PHP. It's an engine, right? We really can build this for, dare I say, WordPress or Symfony, right? Let's stay in the safer waters. Symfony, or you know,
You can just stop there.
but it doesn't stop on phones either. So there's the way I look at it, there's other markets, quote unquote markets, people, communities that don't know Laravel that use PHP that we can build for. And there's more than just phones. We can also, because now we are fully integrated into the iOS system and the Android system, we can build for watches, we can build for cars. There's really not a limit there as what we can do. So, and that's going more into like the technical aspect of how it works, but technically there's no limit.
Cool. Well, good response, guys. I do think, obviously I don't know this for certain, but my bet would be that some of the individuals you have received a little bit of the, why is this not open source backlash from, either one, have never tried to run a large open source project, or two, have never had a project like this that needed funding, commercial viability to kind of really make it happen. Or even three, they have no use for native PHP mobile, in the way that it is intended for, which is for commercial viable apps, So yeah, anyways, I think it's a good choice the way you guys went. I mean, your alternatives are either slow progress to a crawl because you have to be working on other stuff to feed the families, or try to get funding, then mass adoption, right? So you're kind of putting yourself in debt to get users, and then somehow turn those users into dollars in the future, which is like Vercel approach. I don't know, just lots of stuff like that. Yeah. Right. You get mass adoption, and then it's like, okay, how do we use their data or shoehorn features so they have to use something of ours that they have to pay for, and stuff like that. And that becomes very sticky very quickly. And I think the approach you guys are doing is just very refreshing in today's world. I feel like it's probably something a lot more open source maintainers should probably think about moving forward, especially at the pricing that you guys have done early access at, $50 to $250 per year, right? That's not monthly or something. With updates for that year. I know $50 is different around the world, but man, it just takes the
if you
tiniest
can't
amount of
make
output
$50 back, exactly.
Yeah.
If you running an app for a year, if you can't make $50 back with that, then that's probably not a viable project, and you probably don't want to spend your time supporting it, unless it's a complete hobby project and you just want stuff that you've built.
But if it's just a hobby project at that level, take your time, go learn one of the other options. If the dollars are that critical to you and your time is not, and then go figure out React Native and use Laravel as your API, and off you go, right? What you guys are selling is time. You're selling time, right? The saving of time, because you don't have to go figure out a bunch. Go ahead, Shane.
That being said, there is a point in an argument that's not really oppositional. We want this to be open source, right? That's been, like I said, that's been kind of the thing that we want to get to. And we've said that to each other, at least since the beginning. There is an argument that, well, how do I know? How do I try before I buy, kind of thing? and I'm not going to like. There's no announcement here, but we are working on solutions for that. So we are working on ways for people to be able to get this and kind of see how it works and kind of play with it, kick the dust off the tire, so to speak, and before they have to, or before they're ready to purchase, so they can at least. But the thing is, in all honesty, it's Laravel. If you can do
I was about to say,
Laravel,
what is there really to try? Like,
Yeah.
you guys have proven the underlying technology is working. So if you know how to build a web app, there's not a whole lot to try, right?
no, but and this is a totally separate subject, but there are differences between building mobile apps and web apps. And that we do get a lot of questions. We field a lot of questions, and it is in the docs, but we're going to update the docs a bit more for that. But just wrapping your head around, how do I seed an app with data? How do I access data? Why when I run my seeder on my inside of my IDE of choice, and then I deploy, is that data not in the device? And so you do have to wrap your head around that it's not web. It's not web at all. There's a difference here in how some of these things fundamentally work. So there are some things that you need to play with and understand. And
Sure.
there's probably space eventually for some sort of schooling or course or something to that effect, to just get the education component over from bridging your own mind from web to mobile. So
Sure. Yeah.
Hmm.
Cool. Well, guys, that was the big thing I really wanted to talk about today, right? Two big milestones. Android is now officially a thing. Obviously, iOS has been, and I would just say that with the financial milestone, you guys are like truly a viable, solid path forward, which is awesome, right? That's really what you were hoping for. So super duper cool. Very excited for you guys.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen. And you've contributed quite a bit to this too. So don't give us all the freaking credit, man. Or the congratulations
in other
to
ways.
us. You've been instrumental in a lot of things. Our time is really completely spent on so many things. I wake up, and before I'm even out of bed, I'm looking at the Discord channel and looking at like anybody having huge issues that I, because you never know, like, what are people doing that I didn't think of, and stuff like that. Honestly, there hasn't been many or a lot. There hasn't been a lot. There hasn't been really even been that many. And they're really just people like doing things in a different order than what's documented anyway. And so just like, hey, go back to the docs, and it's there. So there's a couple little things, but I think we've already got those ironed out. But man, you came through Stripe, right? You switched us over. Are we even saying this? Yeah, I guess so. I mean, we were using any stacks billing, which is cool. There's a fee for that, but I think the biggest part for us was like, if we want to do any sort of promotion or any discounts or something in the future, it just wasn't possible doing it through the AnyStack. So for those that don't know, AnyStack is foreign to me. I never really played with it before this project, but it's a way that you can essentially charge people for licenses. You give them a license to access pulling in Composer requiring packages. In a nutshell, I think it does some more features than that, but there's just some things that we can't do, coupons, right? And so Stephen helped us bridge that gap and bringing us over to our own Stripe versioning, still integrating with the API for AnyStack for the license issuing. But now we're able to do, promotions and other, just more flexibility as far as what we can do there. So
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah.
You want to say anything about that? Any specific challenges with that, or is it pretty straightforward?
It was pretty straightforward. I don't know.
He makes it look so easy.
Yeah.
Well,
that nice hairdo.
You guys were like, we really want to use PayPal. Then I would have been like, But
Who said
no,
that?
I mean, it was like, it was the first time I have ever personally had to write the code to handle a flow where you're allowing a guest to do a payment process. We're using Stripe Checkout in this case, but just whatever. And then like not having a user account already in the system for them, right? So letting them check out as a guest, and then after the fact, creating their user account, updating that, getting their subscription, stuff like that. So it was just a little interesting, like figuring that piece out. But honestly, Cashier makes it very easy to hook into events that they fire. So that was no sweat. That was like the easiest part of it.
The fun part.
And yeah, so I don't know. It was pretty straightforward.
I mean, I feel
It'll
like
be easy to continue to build on.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of smashed that out in a day or less.
Yeah,
I mean,
think so.
maybe you refined it a little bit, but
there was a little refining. Yeah,
next to no time, thanks to basically Laravel and all of the stuff that comes out of the box there. And your skill, obviously.
Simon tried to make it a little extra difficult on me at first by not having access to a database.
This guy.
But we got that resolved, and so before we deployed, we were able to make it quite a bit easier. So that helped a lot. But yeah, it was all good.
It really unlocks like some really good things. I mean, I was gonna say cool, but they're not cool compared to the stuff that we're gonna do with Native PHP itself. But they're still cool. Like Shane was saying about discounts and all of that kind of thing, but there's a couple of other pieces that I think are really important for like how we support people. I get quite a few questions already coming through for people who have sort of bought one license and then they go, oh, actually, I think I kind of want the next level up or like the max level. And because of the way that AnyStack's kind of set up, it doesn't really support people doing that. So I've had to do those things manually. It's fine. Like, we're not talking about thousands and thousands of those kinds of transactions. So manually is okay. But as that increases and more people are doing it, I just kind of feel like self-serving is going to be really, really handy. And we'll be able to do that. We can't do it right now, but I think one of the things that I'd love for you to do next, Stephen, like I'm just lining up work for you now, is to sort out using Stripe's own like billing management thing so that people can upgrade and downgrade their licenses or their subscriptions. And the other thing, it's like it's not subscriptions in AnyStack. So even though we've been selling it as like, it's the annual renewal model, it's technically not a subscription. It's just a one-time payment. And that's sort of problematic from a business point of view. You want the subscription to be set up, so that the billing thing just happens when the time comes. But the other thing around that is, I have made a pretty strong point, and I do tackle it almost on a daily basis for people at the moment. Like, oh, this is $250 a year or whatever, I'm like, no, you can cancel anytime you like.
Right.
It's like a subscription. And you're not going to lose anything from canceling except the ability to get the latest updates. So this is this is some of the other stuff that you've got to work on, Stephen, as well. It's like we've got to work with AnyStack to make sure that gets handled when people do cancel and all of that kind of thing. But yeah, like I think it's just going to be, it gives us so much power that we can then hand off to users, and then that reduces like the overhead of us, because like we're the only people in this business, so we've got to do all of these admin things as well as the support and the development and everything. Like I feel like I'm wearing millions of hats, so just being able to take a couple of those off is like really, really helpful.
You're not even wearing a hat.
It's invisible, but it's like weighing it down.
It's very heavy.
He's having a good hair day, so he went hatless.
Am I? Is that what this is? This is a good hair day.
Screw you guys.
You're having a good
Man.
beard day.
Actually, it's a little twisty.
Yeah, that's why it's good.
Kind of like
Love
it
a
though. Kind of
love a
cool.
twisty beard.
Little character, you know.
Yeah,
Everybody can have a
exactly.
straight beard.
It's beautiful.
Future thinking. We got some events coming up in the next couple months. Yeah. So Simon, aren't you talking in a couple places? You got a couple places lined up to speak?
I have got. I think the next one is Laravel Live UK.
Mm-hmm.
So that's happening in London in June. I can't remember exactly. Is it
This
the
is how
10th
busy
and
he is,
11th?
folks. He can't
'Cause I
even
put his
remember when he's
itinerary.
traveling internationally.
I put his itinerary together for him, so he doesn't know.
I haven't read that.
We got
10th and
time.
11th of June. I don't know which day I'm speaking, but yeah, that's when that's happening. And it's they've just announced a whole load of new speakers as well, and I'm really excited because there's Dan Harron there. He's going to be, filament guy.
Filament.
Josh Siri,
Nice.
Laravel person. No, but like great Laravel person. There's obviously
Yeah.
loads of Laravel people, but I've never met Josh in person yet, so I've spoken to him, but this will be a chance to actually see him in the flesh. And Ashley Hindle, he's like, I think he's becoming like the AI guy, or one of the AI guys in the space. He's doing quite a few things with agents and MCP servers and things like that. So that's going to
Very
be
nice.
cool. It'd be nice to meet him. And he's a Brit as well, so
Bean
gotta
eaters.
stick together. And then, do you know who Pascal Baljet is?
I know the name.
He's been doing well, he did something a while ago, which I think he kind of put a pause on. Can't remember what it was called. But then he built like this inertia tables library. He's a smart dude, and he's doing like cool things around Laravel. And
Is he the one that?
Go on.
Did he just get hired at Laravel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got another
Sweet.
Laravel person on there. So I'm like, I met him at Laracon EU for the first time, and we've spoken before, but it's going to be good to catch up with him, and he's actually speaking at this one, so this is going to be really cool. So yeah, it's just like a good bunch. I'm missing out loads of people, but
Joe Dixon,
yeah,
Bobby. Let's just say I'm looking at the site now just to say all the names: Dan Heron, Bobby Bowman, who I've not
he's
met
a good
yet.
Hospitable,
dude
I think,
who likes
right?
pizza.
Lucas Giovanni, Peter Sum, Matthew Napoli, Joe Dixon, Josh Sear, Carly Richmond, some Simon guy, Ashley Hindle, Chris Vermeulen, and Pascal Baljet. If I said their names right.
Yeah, you've butchered it. That some Simon guy, I don't know who that is, and you pronounced that all wrong.
Hamster, Simone.
I'd love it like that was actually how their name was presented.
Oh, the name's right, Simon, whatever, and then it just says underneath for job description, some guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who dis bloke?
Yeah.
And something after London? Are you allowed to talk about that already?
I mean, there are things coming up after London, after June. Like, hopefully, we're all going to Laracon US. You're coming, Stephen, right?
Yeah. But there's, I guess it would be after. What I'm thinking of is after Laracon US.
There's another Laravel Live that I've been asked to speak at as well, but it hasn't been announced. So I don't know. We might have to cut this
and there's
out.
so many scheduled coming up, so no one can guess
I
what
know,
that
exactly.
Well, all 54 of our subscribers that actually listen to the podcast will be like, "What is it?" There's I think we may as well go ahead and say this, unless someone's plans significantly change. We are planning the week of Laracon, the week before Laracon. Simon's actually going to fly to Charlotte, North Carolina,
Yeah,
spend a couple
baby.
days here. We're going to make Steven come here for a day at least. And we're going to do a bucket
Gonna eat some
live.
food.
The
Oh,
live
oh.
stream bucket.
Gonna eat some.
Can we
talk?
eat food out of a bucket
We can eat food out of a bucket.
whilst we speak on the bucket?
I think we should get Simon drunk for the live stream. What do you say, Steven?
Oh dear.
Take him to like one of the Noda breweries or something, and just hit record.
Let's go to OMB and
It's going to be an expensive day.
Dude, they built one really close. Actually, they built one like 10 minutes away from my house, 15 minutes away.
Yeah,
Valentine.
In like one of those Charlotte suburbs.
Yup.
Okay.
Right down the street. And the thing is, I'm joking. I don't ever drink, so if I had like a beer or something, I would be the drunk one.
I have a feeling Simon can outgun you. So.
I'm sure. No, I'll water mine down or something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything.
I
don't drink to excess. That's dangerous. I just like a little tipple
You haven't
every
been
day.
to a bucket live stream yet either, buddy.
But he hasn't said what his bar of excess is. That's the ticket, guys.
Oops.
I will say,
get you some pizza, get you some beer.
I'm going to attend Laravel Live London, and I'm very excited to go to that. It's going to be my first time over the pond, and wow. Not to go into it too much, but I was going to take an extra day and go to Paris, which is like a 2-hour train, I guess, away from London, and
like 45 minutes.
A 45-minute train away from London, But the thing was like, all right, so I can either go there and come back the same day, the day after everything, and then just fly home. It's like a 31-hour in Los Angeles if I'm flying from Paris, or it's like $2,000 for a nonstop from Paris to Charlotte. So I'm like, well, I'll just go there, come back, and fly from London back home. But it's got like everything is like a 15-hour layover in Dublin. So I'm like, I'll just go to Dublin instead of Paris and spend the day in Ireland. They got this like bus tour. It's like $30, half a day, 6 hours of driving through the castles and the cemeteries and all the, the countryside of Ireland. And then a direct flight, an affordable direct flight, reasonable direct flight from Dublin. So on the beer note, I'm going to get a Guinness in Dublin.
From the source.
He's going to drink half of it, and then he's going to go to sleep on the bus.
Yes. on the plane, on the ride home. There's probably a Guinness like right in the airport. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't.
I've heard Guinness from the source is like on a whole other level. It's really good.
I do
they
like
pipe
Guinness.
it into
like
homes
Guinness,
there
but...
now. It's like you've got your electricity, you've got your
Fiber
water,
optic,
you've got your drainage, and then there's the special black tap that's just for Guinness.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Every home.
That's amazing. We should move to Ireland.
That'd be hilarious.
Dublin, especially.
Just get we should buy a house in Ireland. We'll Airbnb it out and then just block it off when we want to go visit. Oh, it's free.
Perfect. And have a constant supply of Guinness in there.
Yep.
That Shane won't drink.
I'll drink. I mean, I just don't much, but I mean, I like Guinness. I've got 3 Guinness in my fridge that's been there for like a year and a half. They're the one with the glass ball in it. You just like pour it, and it always a perfect pour. I've got the right glass pour and all that stuff. I do enjoy it. It is good. I'll have one.
I will say, speaking of events, Shane has already been a little bit busy, and you just got home from a meetup.
I did. Yeah. I went to, I just got back last night, actually, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Went and hung out with Ben Holman and crew. There was like 15 of us. Chris Morell also did a really interesting talk on migrating legacy PHP apps to Laravel and different strategies for all sorts of really cool, interesting things. Having dual login and or carrying the cookie session over from one place to another, and refactoring. Like, he did a really, really cool thing with custom relations. So you can like override the has relations class and just implement the right functions. But you can kind of do anything you want to in that and have these really interesting dynamic relations, which is really cool. Actually, I might ask him for some of the code on that because I want to take a look. But
Nice.
yeah, it was very cool. We got to hang out, and then I had bought an Uber back to the hotel, and he was like, "Where's the hotel?" I'm like, "It's by the airport." He's like, "Oh, just hop in. I'll give you a ride." So I got to hang out with Chris for
Cool.
Chris
a
is a
half hour,
dude.
and then we just hung out in the parking lot and spoke about all sorts of cool stuff coming up. So he'll be in Denver also for Laracon. So looking forward to seeing him again. And I think we talked a couple people into going to Laracon that are like, sell it to me. And I'm like, dude, you've got to go. It's not about the talks. It's about the community. It's about being part of the whole thing. Please go to Laracon. If you can at all figure out a way, anybody listening, go to Laracon. It's so cool. We're all going to be there. Come hang out with us. We might be wearing some interesting t-shirts, as you'll see.
Did you get in on the day zero day party?
I'm going.
Which one? Golf or mostly technical?
Not
Mostly
the golf.
technical. Yeah,
Mostly
not
technical
golf.
part. Yeah.
Is there some special thing for the golf thing? I mean, I'm terrible at golf, but
I think it's well, from what I've heard, it's really just an Eric Barnes party.
like it's just going to be him on his own playing.
It's just
golf.
him golfing, and everybody from the Laravel
Everybody
community
else
just
is watching.
And Aaron Francis chasing him on a golf cart.
Yeah, that was a part of the community bundle. If you did that, so that like little bit of an extra ticket, that is how normal folks, I think, get access to the Day Zero event that Laravel is hosting. So the golf, I want to say, sponsors will also have access.
Yeah, probably.
But anyways, that's that. Have to figure out how to get to and from the golf course.
Probably
But,
a car.
I think it'll be fun. I think like as long as there's actually not many good people, it'll just be a hoot. You know? Because like I used to play a little bit of golf, but I'm not good. But you know, it can just be a lot of fun when there's like no pressure and it doesn't really matter like what happens. But if like you're one of 4 people that you know suck, and then there's 100 people that are really good, it's like. But it sounds like it'll be the opposite. Eric is he'll come probably with his own clubs.
I should team up with him because I've never golfed. I know I'm dressed kind of like a golfer today, but I've never golfed. I've done mini golf.
Have you held but have you held a proper golf club?
My story it's not a story. Both sides, my mom and my dad's side, both have avid and like amateur golfers on both sides. And so I've inherited some apparently really nice golf clubs. I've never even opened them to look at them. I have no idea. My great uncle passed 10 years ago maybe, and he's like, I want you to have these. And so they're out there in the garage. So I have no idea. But like my uncle, my mom's side, my great uncle, 3 of my great uncles, they lived in like Hollywood. One of them was actually the one where I got the clubs from. He was the sales manager at Mercedes-Benz in Hollywood in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So he sold cars to like the Rat Pack and stuff like that. So yeah, nice things. And yeah, but my brother and I, when I was probably 10 years old, went out with my grandpa's clubs in upstate New York and hit a few balls into the windows of the barn next to us, and we got in trouble and had to buy the glass, clean up the glass, apologize to the cows, and that's about as far as it goes for me.
Sweet. Okay, so maybe before Laracon, I will come over to the Top Golf in like Concord or whatever. You'll meet me there, and I'll show you a couple things.
That'd be fun. I don't know.
This is a golf ball
and a tee. I mean, I know like you got to follow through, right? You have to go all the way through the ball. I know that's important. And you got to hit the ball. That's probably the hardest part, I think, for me. We'll see how it goes. But I think it'd be really funny to have someone like Eric and then someone like, whether it's me or not, but to have somebody complete noob paired up and him just yelling at me the whole time, like, you idiot. You know,
it's not just
they're
Go
doing
on.
best ball scramble. So like of the foursome that's playing together, right? You're just constantly hitting from whoever had the best shot.
Oh,
So even if
interesting.
you like are constantly screwing up, it doesn't really matter because you're just
That's cool.
using whoever had the best shot. So that takes like so much of the pressure off.
It'd be even better if I was a natural and I stomped Eric.
Well, what is actually really
Not gonna
fun
happen.
because like I have played these formats before, and like around the green is where so many of the strokes like truly take place in golf, right? And so that's actually where like people that have never played, but like they've maybe done putt putt or something. I don't know. Just because you're really good at golf doesn't mean you're going to sink every putt. And so you can actually have a couple of folks that like really contribute by just whacking in a putt or two, and it's pretty cool. So it should be fun. But yeah, like off the tee and stuff like that. Like if you've never ever played before and then you're playing with somebody that's decent, like you might as well not hit pretty much. It's like not worth it. Unless you get hella lucky.
I think it's kind of fine. Like you just have a bit of a laugh.
Yeah.
But for me, like I don't know, is it a full 18-hole course that everybody's going around? No, it can't be.
How long does it take to play 18 holes with 100 people?
Well, you would
I think it might
stagger
take
off,
too long.
stagger your starts. And I mean, usually a full round with a foursome's like maybe 4 hours.
But yeah, then you'd have people coming right behind you, so you could have basically 18 groups.
It's gonna be hot.
Running
It's
through.
gonna be July. Eric will probably do 2 full rounds himself or something, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. They can do about 144 people on the course at once. So it's usually more or less. It's like 2 foursomes per hole. Because you can have
Oh, wow.
group teeing off when like the group in front of you is basically getting onto the green. Obviously, you get backed up with par threes and stuff. But so, anyways, I mean, yeah, if there's like roughly 100 people or something, then they can.
I mean, yeah, it's fine going round, but I kind of want like snacks and drinks, and it just be
Yeah.
And I don't want sunburn at the show the next day, right?
Dude.
Yeah.
Word. Well, Aaron has already said he's not playing. He's just driving a golf cart. So guess you could be a part of that crew. But anyhow,
It does. It sounds like it would be fun. Yeah. I don't know.
you got to at least come if like you can.
How do I get in on that? Is there something for the
Part of the community ticket. You got one?
Did you
or
do
is
the
there
community
did I
bundle?
get some instructions via email or something?
You should have, yeah. Sam from Laravel, that's kind of helping project manage the whole conference, sent out an email to folks that bought that ticket.
Cool. Okay. I'll dig that out. That's somewhere hidden.
It was
in
like
my
I think at the
emails.
end of April because we got it the night that I was at the Greenville PHP meetup with Shane. So that was like April
3 weeks ago.
25th, maybe something like that.
Just do a
Anyways,
search for Laracon, scroll past your rejection letter, and it's probably the next one. Which I got one last night.
oh no!
Neither of us are talking at Laracon Denver. That's okay though. That's fine. It's gonna be fun. We have actually some really cool plans for Denver. Really cool plans as far as native PHP. And it's too early to really say anything about it, but there's some plans. There's some plans in place. There is something. Well, I mean, if Simon would read his Riverside messages, he would know about the one.
I don't even have that tab open. It doesn't make any noise or anything. Oh yeah, I completely forgot. Do it.
Nope. Now you have to. You'll present it much better anyway.
Now I'm on the spot.
Yeah.
No pressure.
So we have. This is why I asked you, Stephen, if you're going, if you're sorted, because
Go. I am sorry.
we have one spare ticket to Laracon US. I don't know. We're going to give it away. We're going to give it away, aren't we, Shane?
Yeah, it's free for somebody. We haven't decided exactly how we're going to give it away. We should make it something really fun to do, right?
Yeah.
I think that there's an inherent
What can
challenge,
we
though. It's like,
do?
number one, people are already like we're not buying flights and stuff like that at a hotel. We're just
Right.
giving away a ticket for Laracon, so you have to have that covered, and that means you've already like considered doing this maybe and looked at, and maybe, you know, financially it's just a little bit out of your reach, or you've already planned to go, you bought a ticket and you'll have to get a refund from Laracon or something like that. So there's probably some sort of like we have to like qualify who, like, and that will determine how we give it away, because it can't
And
just
when?
be like and when, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we can't do it the week of or before or something like that. But we do have an extra ticket. We're gonna come up with something clever. Post comments on YouTube or tweet us or something if you have ideas, or if you're interested, and maybe we just raffle it off. Maybe we do, maybe on the live stream. That'll be
That's
too
a bit
late.
too close. Yeah. I think,
Yeah.
well, I feel like if we keep banging this drum, we've got a little while to get people interested in it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And we can come up with something in the meantime, and then
That's assuming this isn't our last podcast before Laracon.
no, we've got to get together now because we've got to give this ticket to somebody. So yeah, and we can come up with something in the meantime, and then run it and get a winner out. Like, I would say we probably need like 3 weeks before the actual conference, which is at the end of July. So
before
probably let's try
July.
and get a winner at the end of June. That
We'll
feels
have a winner
like
by the end of
doable.
June. I think maybe even sooner than that, to be
Maybe
honest.
even before that.
Because people will have to get plane tickets if they're not already planning, and
That's true.
you know, I think that it should be on the back side of Laravel Live. I think that's probably the latest we should do it, which is like
Oh, maybe I
mid-July.
could announce it at Laravel Live.
Oh, that'd be
Hey,
cool.
there
That's a
you
great
go.
idea. That gives us like 4 weeks.
So
We got
we
we got a month from
4
now.
weeks to
That's
come
plenty
up
of
with
time.
an
That's plenty of
idea.
time.
Yeah.
So we'll think of
And
something
maybe
really.
include a little EAP license with it.
Oh,
just
look at
totally
that
put you
little
guys on the spot.
sweetener.
Mm.
You know, this isn't how we got to $100,000, Steve.
Okay. All right. I will personally sponsor that license.
It's
So
fine.
whoever gets this
we'll definitely
ticket.
give away a license. Yeah.
Oh, and they can get one of the clever shirts that we're putting together too. I think that would
Oh my
be a nice,
goodness.
really cool pack. Let's
What a
contribute.
bundle.
That's a
Ah.
bundle. We could even do like first, second, third place, and like a second place doesn't get the ticket, but they get the shirt and a license, and the third place just gets a shirt or just a license or their
Let's turn it
choice.
into a real competition.
This is a real thing now. Look at that.
Oh my
Wow,
goodness.
You heard it here first, people. Look at that.
Yeah, let's do it. That sounds
I
great.
think so. That does sound great.
Increase your chances of getting something semi decent.
I want
Wait,
in on this actually.
what is the ticket though? What's the Laracon ticket? Is it a community bundle one, or is it a
It's a regular ticket. It's just
Regular.
a regular ticket. Yeah.
okay?
Which is still a ticket to Laracon US.
No, exactly. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, just making sure it's a regular attendance ticket. Fine.
That's great.
Yeah.
Though. I was in the boat where I had to get a secondhand ticket last year to go. So
I remember
yeah.
that. I remember that.
Touch and go whether you're even
You-
going to be there.
You asked
I
me
know.
if it looked legit when you got it.
No.
It's like, did I get this?
Am I
It was
giving
from
this random guy
some
like hundreds of dollars?
some prince in Africa gave me this. ticket.
Yeah.
Dear.
But it was legit. So
It was.
hey.
You got in.
it worked out. Yeah.
Yippity doo dah.
But I highly, like, gotta get that done with plenty of time. Enough for the person to make
Yeah,
arrangements,
that's
but then
true.
also you don't want to drop this on the Laracon crew because then they have to change names and rosters or do the badge and stuff like that.
So I think
Um,
we can probably just kind of frame out like now, like it's not hard to say this. If you could be international, you're just going to be responsible for the flight and visa and like anything else that's going to be required to get to the venue and to get to the place. But
And to stay.
and to stay. I don't think there's any sort of
Food.
qualifications other than that. I mean, if we're gonna do like a license and stuff, so it's like there's no requirement like you purchase to play or anything like that. We'll just say maybe a newsletter sign up. Maybe we just pull from like all the newsletter signups.
It could be.
I mean, that
Yeah.
we're gonna need email addresses, a pool of email addresses or something to pull from anyway, right? So that's already a place.
It needs to be like a specific opt in to the competition though. Like it can't just
Okay.
be all of the email addresses that have already been in there because people won't know that that's a thing. Unfortunately, not everyone listens to this show.
Correct.
So
Well,
we can.
When is
I
Laravel
can
Live
definitely
UK again?
10th
Mid-June?
and 11th of June.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I
I
put a
think
soft pick date like a week after that.
yeah.
That's
I think we could
mid-June.
do that. And we would just need like a page, I think, that just is like a simple landing page showing the things that you can get and then the sign up.
I got you.
Stephen,
I know
he's
a
all
guy.
over it.
It's already done.
Yeah, the sign up could go into the newsletter, but then like tag people with a specific tag, like so that we can filter them down and
Look
That's it.
how things just come together.
beautiful.
Look at that. We can do an article on Laravel News. There's a big audience there, right?
Mhm.
And that'll drive people to doing this. I think because if we just rely on this podcast, it's 75 people will. Which is fine. I mean, maybe that's the your chances are better if we don't do Laravel.
Anyone who's actually listening is going and
Right?
wants this is like, don't tell
And
anyone
Don't
else.
do that.
Tendai is
Please.
going to do like 10x entries.
That's funny. I wish I had the
Uh,
time, and maybe we could do something for next year if we really plan it out more. An app of some sort, and it's like
This is
we
all
could
you want to
even
do now.
I like it. I do. Like some sort of like Pokemon Go or geocaching of like
Oh, that would
picking
be
up.
so sweet.
I know.
All right, guys,
We
let
could
me
do-
work with John at Thunk. We'll put together a game
Yeah.
idea.
Sure.
John
I've already
loves a
got his
game.
ear. Might as well just, spread this his way.
Wait, doesn't he need his ear?
Brits.
Well, guys, we're right around an hour. I think we should cut it here.
Good place to wrap.
Lots of cool discussions. I think it's more than just if you liked any part of this to share it. I guess if you want less people knowing about this ticket we're giving away, don't share it. So that's counterintuitive. I think.
Or you can not be an asshole and you can just go ahead and share it.
Maybe the more you share it to, the more entries you get.
Well, pyramid scheme. Here we go. Oh, Shane, the sales guy. Here he comes.
Always.
Little
anatomy.
affiliate marketing.
There would have been a part of me that would have been like, oh yeah, but there's an extra layer of complexity there. And then now I'm just like, yeah, Stephen will build that. He'll
We'll
build
figure
it
it
in a
out.
day.
figure it
He's
out.
got it figured out.
Wonderful. All right. Let's wrap this up before Shane can say anything else.
All right. No, for real. Thank you all. Huge milestones. Obviously we haven't done any shows in several weeks. We've even got 2 ready to go out. So I don't even know when this is does this take precedence? It must.
I think this will take precedence.
Maybe we just put them all out at the same time and people can binge them whenever they want to. That's probably a good idea. But we've been busy. We've clearly, and we want to get back into the swing of things to some extent. And we'll see how the future for the show goes. There is a future for the show, and there's a future for the apps and all the things we're putting together. So thank you for being a part of it, being a part of us and our team. We read through and enjoy every comment and retweet and all that stuff. So thank you very much. And we'll see you next week, maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
All
Peace
right.
out.
Cheers, guys.
Konnichiwa.